Hello and welcome to the Cymru Nerd Cave. Me, Dreadwind, back again after a bit of time away. I do apologise about that, but I now have an impetus to make videos again. I've now got the hunger's back. It's been a long time since I've made any kind of video, so I do apologise about that. But yeah, it's one of those things, I just wasn't feeling it, and I think when you're not feeling it, it's difficult to get into a routine of making videos again. And I thought, nah, I'm not feeling it. And then all of a sudden, the last few weeks, I've been, I don't know, watching people's videos and thinking, do you know what? Yeah, I kind of fancy doing videos again. I know a lot of people watch me. I know I haven't got 1 million subscribers, but I think it's fun. And things like the Transformers YouTube community have been going a while, and I haven't been part of it, and that seems wrong somehow, because back in the old days of the Moonbase 2, when we were all massive Transformers fans, like 10 years ago now, everybody was making videos, everybody was having a lot of fun, and that kind of went away. And I think it's a bit of a shame that it went away. I understand why people move on, people's lives go in different directions, but yeah, there's no reason I shouldn't be making videos and sort of joining in. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to join in. And boosted by the video that Pugh and Mence made yesterday. I was going to say Mew and Pence then, but never mind. Yeah, boosted by their video that they put on yesterday, I thought, do you know what? Sod it. I'm going to come home from work and I'm going to make a video. So here I am. Now what it was is that a user called Dennis, I forget his username on the Transformers YouTube community, but he posted some questions so that they would answer it. And they said, well, why don't you lot answer it as well? So got the trusty phone, and I'm gonna answer the questions. Simple as that, really. So we will start off at the start, which is number 1, which is favourite figure. Now my favourite figure is a bit of a surprising one, but I've wanted it, or I had wanted it for about 6 or 7 years. It's this guy. It's G2 style classics sideswipe done like G2 Breakdown. And he's from BotCon in 2010, and it's a great little figure. I love it. I remember this is in the early days of the Back to the 80s podcast, when me and Jeremy used to report on everything. We did the news, and one of the stories that year was BotCon. Their set for that year was G2 themed, and we both love G2 because it's crazy colours and crazy characters and things like that. And this guy immediately popped out at me. He pumped as well. I mean, why not? Sure. He popped out at me, and I immediately fell in love with the thing. And I'm like, this is something I really need in my collection, but probably will never get, because BotCon sets are traditionally very expensive on the secondary market. So I thought, well, you know, I'm not going to BotCon. And yeah, chances of this minimal. And then Chris McFeely came up a few years back and said, I'm selling these, does anybody want them? And in the collection he was selling was this guy. And I said to Chris, yes please, I'd like him. I'd also like your other breakdown that's inspired by the G1 breakdown, please. And Chris said, yeah, alright then, you can have those. Pay me some money and I will give you them. And that's what I did. And I got them, and I don't regret it. It's fucking awesome, look at it. Why wouldn't you want this eye-searing piece of nonsense? You know, the face especially, I don't know if they'll pick up, but it's the sort of G2 combiner head. Why would you not like this thing? It's amazing. It's even got the G2 Decepticon symbol on there. It's great. I love it. I don't regret buying it. It was a little bit expensive, but you know, sometimes things are. It was a hell of a lot less expensive than it would have been if I'd gone on the secondary market. So I regret nothing. My favourite figure right there. Let's have a look. What else we got? 2, most expensive in your collection. I was thinking about this and I wasn't sure, and then I thought, well, what's the most I've paid for a Transformer? Because usually I'm quite tight and I tend not to pay a lot for figures, but there was one figure that came out that I needed straight away, couldn't wait for, daren't wait for in case it went away, and it was this hunk of awesomeness that I love so much, and it is, of course, Masterpiece Soundwave. He's brilliant. I paid about £100 and something for him from Toys R Us back when that was a thing. And yeah, I got him straight away as soon as he came out in the UK when he was issued a few years back now, not 2014, 2013, something like that. Him and all his cassettes, which I haven't got out, but yeah, why would you not? I mean, I don't regret it at all, because he's awesome and he's amazing, and I love Soundwave anyway. I did as a kid. I used to have classic Soundwave. The reissue they did a few years back. Lost him when I moved house, but there you go. That shit happens. So when they reissued him, yeah, need him, gotta have him. So yeah, spent the money, and I think spent it wisely. It's a cracking figure. I love the cassettes. He just brings so much joy into your life. So why would you not want Masterpiece Soundwave? So that is probably my most expensive figure. Generally, I'm pretty frugal when it comes to paying them, because I do love me a bargain. Worst figure I own, and how many are you in your collection? Well, that's technically 2, but never mind. Worst figure I own is because of what it could have been and what it ended up being years later. They finally made a decent figure out of this guy. Ironhide, Classics Ironhide. He's just a bit shit, really. He's just, I mean, I tend not to buy figures that are shit. I tend to buy ones that are good, but this guy I bought before I knew he was shit. I hadn't seen any reviews on him, and it was back, what, 2008, and I thought, oh, Ironhide, and bought him, and I kind of wish I hadn't, because he's just not very good. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not ungrateful. I'm happy to have him in my collection. He's probably transformed wrong as well, actually. But he never transforms well. There's always massive gaps in him. He got the head thing that pisses me off, where he's always forever looking down. And then they just, for Ratchet, they did exactly the same thing. It was just pure Hasbro laziness, that was. Oh yeah, it'll do. And it's just, it could have been so much better. Good on Ironhide. Could have been really good, but just ended up being a bit crap, really. Underwhelming. I mean, I know Universe Galvatron is worse, arguably. I remember plenty of videos, you know, proving that point, where he just falls apart. I've got one. I've got the Battle on Cybertron version. And yeah, he's total shit, but he's hilariously shit. This is the difference between a good film, a bad film, and just a bad film. Because you've got the good film, which is a good film, great thing. The good bad film, which is a bad film, but you enjoy it. And then you've got this shit boring film. Ironhide is the shit boring film, because there's just nothing there that's interesting to talk about. As yeah, everybody knows he's shit. Everybody knows he's just panels. They tried something different, it didn't work. But yeah, it's definitely the worst figure in my collection. Not a fan at all. Best and worst place for you to buy figures. Well, the best, probably eBay for me. eBay or Amazon. I do like getting my figures from there if I can. Or at a convention. I do like sort of saving up all year, going to some sort of convention, maybe buying a Transformer from there. The worst place I always found, but Big Bad Toy Store. Nah, it's really expensive. Customs charges. Never had a good experience with Big Bad. And obviously Toys R Us these days, which isn't a thing anymore. A lot of people saying RIP. And, you know, the real tragedy is that loads of people are going to lose their jobs. But really, this has been coming for a long time. It's not a surprise. The mismanagement of the company is well known. They never have anything in that's worth buying, and when they do, it's expensive and you know, not worth getting from there. You can get it cheaper online, and I think that is the thing that a lot of people have said, is that, you know, you can go to Toys R Us, you can have a look there, and then you can go home and get it cheaper online. So it's a shame, but it looks like KB Toys. I mean, this could be completely wrong from what I'm saying, but I've seen on the internet in the last couple of days KB Toys are coming back. Good in America, not so good over here, and it's just a shame that people are losing their jobs because the higher ups decided to mismanage a company. But there you go. But that would that and Big Bad Toy Store would be the worst places to buy toys, I would say, at the moment. What figure do I want the most? I want the Abominus that's coming out of Power of the Primes, because I loves me some Abominus. I do have him over there. You might just be able to see him. He's over there. He's missing a few bits, but he's still G1 Abominus, and he's awesome. I have a real love for the late combiners. So like Piranacon, Abominus, Computron, things like that. I do need to get a Computron as well. But really the one I want is G1 Abominus. Combiner was... no, not Combiner. Power of the Primes, for God's sakes. I want that Abominus anyway, because he looks pretty damn awesome. And yeah, I would like him, please. And then the next question, don't need to look it up, is what figure do you want to see? I would like to see the Seacons, please. Please very much, yes. I doubt we're going to see them in this line, but I would like them because they're awesome and they're hilarious colours and they're ridiculous alt modes. They just look cool. I like them. They're mental. The more mental they are, the more I'm going to like them, basically. That's why I like all of G2. But yes, the Seacons, please, in Power of the Primes or whatever comes after. That would be nice, Kay. Thanks, bye. Next one. What is your opinion on Kaios knockoffs? I don't really have one. I don't buy them. I have one knockoff in my whole collection, which is Masterpiece Sideswipe. One day I'll get the proper version, probably. The only reason I've got that one is at one convention, some seller had loads. He was selling them off for like 20 quid each. I had 20 quid at the end of the convention, have my 20 quid. He's okay. I've transformed him twice and paint started coming off, so I've never transformed him again. But he's nice. He fits in the Masterpiece collection that I have of Grimlock and Hot Rod and Prowl is the other one I've got. I don't have many Masterpieces, but the ones I've got I like, and I don't mind Sideswipe. Like I say, one day I'll probably get another one. But that's the only knockoff I have. I don't really have an opinion on them. If people want to spend £80 on a knockoff, I think you're mental, but it's your money at the end of the day. I don't think they hurt Hasbro sales. I really don't, because I know people who have like knockoffs and normal. It's like saying to third party harm. I don't think they do. I think people, if they want something, they will get it regardless. Should knockoffs really exist? No, technically no, they shouldn't. But you're always going to get things like that popping up. If it wasn't one company, it'd be another company. So, not for me, personally, because they tend to be of a lower quality than the official releases. So I would rather get an official release. But if you want a knockoff, it's your money. Fine. That doesn't bother me in the slightest. Favourite character? This is easy. Used to be, it would have been Grimlock probably, years ago, up until 1988, because all kids like dinosaurs, right? And Slag. I really liked Slag when I was a kid. I used to call him Slag, because he's Triceratops, and Triceratops are the best of all the dinosaurs. There is no argument on this. But in 1988, I think it must have been 1988, they brought out a character called Dreadwind. And then not long after that, Simon Furman decided to use Dreadwind as the avatar for the letters in the Marvel UK comics. So he was the guy who ostensibly answered all the letters. And I don't know, I just fell in love with the guy. So much so that when Power of the Primes released him, I got him. My handle on the internet was Dreadwind, or is Dreadwind. And it has been for about 10 years because I love this guy so much. I just like the idea of you've got basically an extremely violent Marvin the Paranoid Android, because that's what he is. It's like, oh God. He's basically us. If we had to fight in a war, we wouldn't want to fight in a war. All that, it just winds you up. It's a hassle. Why would you want to do it? And this guy epitomises that. Oh God, I'm going to die in this, aren't I? What's the point then? What's the point in going on if all I'm going to do is just die? And it had been tried before with characters like Dead End, but obviously Dead End being part of a combiner, he wasn't really considered as much of a character. And to be fair, in the American comics and most media, this guy is a footnote. He's an afterthought. But Furman wrote him so perfectly for about 2 years. I think he had the letters before Blaster took over. It was just fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And I just fell in love with Dreadwind and thought, yeah, I'm on side with this guy. I understand what this guy's about. because I can be morose and I can be defeatist and nihilist as well, and still after all this time, so I identify with that sort of character. So I love him. He's my favourite character, always will be. Going into the last few questions now. What's your favourite Transformers show? It is a toss-up between two. G1, because I'm a dirty G1er, specifically season 3 of the G1 show. I love it so much. It's mental, it's stupid, it sometimes is really badly animated. Never really badly written. You can certainly see what they were going for with the whole world building aspect. They were trying to do something that had never been done before. In a kids' cartoon, not really, and yeah, I really enjoy watching season 3 pan out. But I love the whole of G1, and I love Transformers Animated because again, it just built a world that I wanted to live in. It seemed like a good world to be in, and there were good characters and they were rounded. The animation was different than what we'd seen previously in Transformers Animated. It was more simple. But it worked and it grew on you and you kind of got used to it and thought, yeah, this is really good actually. And the writing was second to none. That show could really rip your heart out sometimes. It just never got a season 4 and it's a shame. I also love Beast Wars in there as well because I do have an affinity for Beast Wars. It was, again, a really good show. Really good show. But I would say if push, G1 and Transformers Animated, probably my favourite shows. I really do like those. Love or hate the movies. Indifferent is what I would say. They exist. They are movies. I can't deny that. The first one was great. Second one was shit. Third one was okay. The fourth one was abysmal. And I haven't seen the last one. And probably won't. It's on Now TV, so I should. Maybe when the missus is out or something, I will probably watch it. But I don't care enough about it. I just don't care enough at all about The Last Night to watch it. It's just a shame because Wahlberg's in it and I really do like Mark Wahlberg. Cue a million people telling me that I'm wrong and a shitlord for liking Mark Wahlberg, but there you go. Can't please everybody, especially not in this in this world, but never mind. Yeah, indifferent to them. They're okay. They're fine. The last one, this is going to get me a lot of hate. Was Hot Rod responsible for Prime's death in the 86 movie? And 1, yes he was. Number 2, good. Because Prime had his time and he didn't get the job done. Because within 5 minutes of getting the Matrix, Hot Rod, i.e. Optimus Prime, had turned the side of the wall back in the Autobots' favour and they got a Cybertron. Prime never did that. Optimus Prime is shit. You can't deny that logic. Sorry, Dave. No, Optimus Prime isn't shit, but I never really cared about Optimus Prime, even as a kid. He's fine. He's awesome. He's a bit dull. The more interesting character was Optimus, and I always feel that he was absolutely screwed over in both continuities. Well, maybe not so much the Japanese, but in the Western continuity, he did the burden hardest to bear. He finally got to a point where, yeah, all right, I'm not living in the shadow of Optimus anymore. I'm finally being my own man, and I'm going to do this. What happens? Optimus Prime returns and says, give me that Matrix. Yeah, all right then. Oh, focus pulling cunt. I don't like Optimus Prime. I don't like him. I don't like him in G1. I don't like him in the movies. Certainly not in the movies. Fucking hell. But Rodimus, I love. I always did love Rodimus. Sorry, Dave. I know you love Prime more than anybody in the world. But I never got on with him. He's too goody-goody. Yeah, it's just... What do you do with a character like that? You can't write him any other way than as a straight arrow. And I must imagine as a character to write for, he's a fucking nightmare. For animation, anyway. Which is why they tried putting doubts in his head and why they, you know, in the comics say, oh, I don't want to be Prime, I want to be Orion Pax again, and all this kind of guff. And in the cartoon, he was just, I'm Optimus Prime, I'm not changing. Dull. Just dull. And Rodimus, much more interesting, I think. But there you go. So yes, he was responsible. And number 2, I'm quite glad he was because we got Rodimus in season 3. There we go. That's the questions answered, and I will leave it there. If you want to reply to this video, please do so. It's a Transformers YouTube community on Facebook. It is on Twitter. Well, Twitter, Facebook, you can find the links under there for me. I also host Back to the 80s podcast, which is btte.livesin.com. And obviously more videos coming on here very, very soon. I will endeavour to make them. And I think hands in front of a camera, I think that's kind of done. I think I tried that and I didn't enjoy it. So you will probably not be seeing me do that style of video anymore. So if you do want in-depth toy reviews, sorry about that. You're probably not going to get those anymore. But please, please, please do comment. Tell me what your favourite bots are. Tell me what your opinion on Optimus Prime is. Tell me what your most expensive figure is. And all that good stuff down in the comments. And rate and subscribe and all that stuff that they tell you to do to be a success on YouTube. Until next time, this is me, Dreadwind, in the Cymru Nerd Cave, saying bye-bye for now.